Welcome back to another episode of SKC Live. I'm Brian Kipp. I'm actually super excited for my next guest here. Really good friend, crypto genius, nodes, serial entrepreneur, just everything about crypto, Billy Womack.
How you doing?
Doing good,
Excited
man.
to be here today.
Yeah, you know, I'm excited for you to be here. Crypto is, right now in the current days, it's like crypto is so much up in the air with all the commotion going on. But what I really wanted to kind of talk about is, you know, you're like really, really big into crypto and nodes. And, you know, like I'm off in Miami partying Labor Day weekend, thinking I'm at the best parties probably in the world going on, probably besides Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I looked down on my phone, scrolling through, and Billy's off in L.A. somewhere, hanging out with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Probably another really big crypto
Huge
guy.
Huge.
So, and not just with Snoop Dogg or at an event with Snoop Dogg, but actually hanging out with him.
Yeah.
So how did that come to fruition?
Snoop is huge in crypto, as some of you guys know. Some may not know. I've been in crypto now for 8 years, so it's been I started making Bitcoin back at $275, Ethereum at 80. I think it's $78. So I've been in it for a minute, and I think the best thing that happened to me was I got burnt the very first crypto venture I went into, and I scarred me, and I was like, is this really what this is all about? And it really pissed me off, and I was like, man, I've got to find a mentor. I got to find somebody to show me, to navigate me through these waters. And I did, and I found a really good mentor, and I was very fortunate. I got linked up with this guy, and I've only been with 2 mentors the whole time I've been in crypto, and so I can't take all the credit, but I was smart enough to find somebody that was in this space, and they just led me down this road of making cryptocurrency. I've only minted or mined crypto the whole time I've been in crypto. And during that process, it's still a very small community. And Snoop is one of these guys that's just in that space. And we were very fortunate when I first got started. One of my partners, I'd rather not say his name at this point, but one of my second mentor in the business, he calls me and he says, hey, man, can you be in Vegas? This was on a Tuesday. Can you be in Vegas by Friday? I've got an event. I need to introduce you to somebody. I was like, sure, no problem. I jump on the flight. This guy's worth just a ton of money. So I jump on the flight, fly to Vegas. He goes, all right, guys, we've got this really cool concept. We're gonna launch this new business, a gaming platform. I'm like, gaming? You flew me all the way to Vegas for a gaming platform? I don't play games. I haven't played a video game since Donkey Kong or Tetris. So I'm like, this is okay. He goes, no, you got to meet this guy. He's super cool, man. He's super successful. It came to find out it was Eric Schumeyer, the co-founder of MySpace. And so Eric was there, and Mike McCartney, who's the creator of what's it called, Farmville. He's there. And so there's 20 of us in a room, 22 of us, I think, 22, 23 of us, whatever it was. And he said, well, yeah, we've got this really cool idea. We're going to do a play-to-earn situation. I'm like, okay. You know, but Billy, we want you to help sell these software nodes and market this thing for us, going into the marketing.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, and that I can do. But I don't really know about the gaming. And long story short, for those that don't know, Eric Schumeyer was the co-founder of MySpace. Facebook was coming out. MySpace started going down. He ended up selling out of his portion of MySpace, going to Silicon Valley, creating a company called Zynga, which now still holds the record of the most funds ever raised out of a fund, $10 billion, Silicon Valley. Went back to Zuckerberg, says, hey, I want to be the gaming arm for Facebook. And Facebook said, sure. Zuckerberg, I think, had 2 million users at the time. So Eric and his team at that time had already accumulated 50 million gamers, brought them to Facebook, created the very first game on Facebook, which was called Zynga Poker. Then he created Zynga Poker, Words with Friends, Mafia Wars, Farmville 1, 2, and 3.
Wow.
So these guys did this in a matter of 4 years, accumulated not only 400 million gamers additional to what they already had, But at that point, he went and I think they exited that 4 years later with $9 billion.
That's impressive. I
9
mean,
billion.
like, so you just get a random phone call. Hey, come to Vegas.
Yeah.
And hey, and you get put in a room with these amazing guys.
I wouldn't say random. These guys kind of recruited me to come on board with them because they knew I was in blockchain and I was in it for the long haul, and this was my career. This is now I didn't have the experience they had, but I was willing to put in the time and the effort. And so yeah, they recruited me to come on board and say let's do this. So I locked arms with them
So
day
that-
one.
So that was a game changer for you.
That was a life changer for me. Yeah,
That's-
I've made good money in my life before, but not the kind of money that came with that scenario and that group of individuals. When you're talking about guys that are worth billions, grabbing you, putting you in a room, say we're going to launch this. Are you ready? Yes, sir.
Well, so if everybody knows, I mean, I've known Billy a long time, and and Billy's been talking to me about nodes and kind of getting into these platforms. And so I asked him very politely. He actually lives a couple blocks away from my office. I said, "Hey, can you come over to my office and show me what you're doing?"
Yeah.
And I even asked him to kind of get outside the comfort zone. I said, "Hey, can you show me where you converted your rewards?"
I showed you my wallet.
You show me your wallet. You show me what you're basically getting pretty much almost every day, kind of like deposited in.
Yep.
But not even that. But I even asked you to even go one step further, which you agreed, which I was awesome because it actually helped me because I'm a visual person. I'm a realist.
Yep.
I have to know that there's real equity behind here.
Right.
And I said, "Can you show me where you converted that into actual real cash?"
Mm-hmm.
And you did. You pulled up your Wells Fargo, and you showed me. You said, "Here, this is where I cashed out this much money." I'm not going to get into how much money, but let's just say it's a lot. Literally, it sold me. So I literally, jumped on board and I've got some investments now into some of the projects that you're doing, and I would say so far so good.
So far, so good. I mean, what I was showing you was those particular deposits were the ones where I pulled out, where I bought the brand new Bentley cash.
Oh no, well, I didn't want to get into all that, but just put it this way, everybody. Literally, he showed me 7 figures plus in cash that he's pulled out. So I mean,
Plus.
Well, yeah. Again, I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
It's a lot, everybody. But yeah, I mean, because again, everybody talks about like, hey, I can do this, or my platform's doing this. Hey, I need you to buy into this, and it's not even like that. I mean, you're literally trying to get people on board. I mean, you're now. I mean, I follow you on Instagram. Obviously, I see you all the time too. But you're creating your own mentorship program. You're actually now becoming. You were the student. Now you're becoming the teacher. And you're teaching people. And listen, if you guys want to know that path down, he's not going to teach you if Bitcoin's going to go up, Bitcoin's going to go down. Yep. He's not going to teach you any of that. Actually, he's going to tell you if you have any of that, sell it and get into nodes. Yep. Nodes create the coin that then either goes up or goes down. But here's the good thing, it's still always creating coin. And that was the one thing that made a lot of sense to me. Right. Unless the thing just goes to zero. Right. You're always going to be making money.
That's correct.
Some days might be a really good day,
or
some months, and some might be bad.
Yeah, and I'll give you a scenario. The first project that we launched, which was called Gala Games, I can put it out there.
Gala Games, only $1 billion. It's $1 billion company.
Multi-billion
company. Yeah. I mean, they got Gala Games, Gala Film, Gala Music.
Gala Music. That's where Snoop comes in.
So everybody, if you can get a zoom in on that, I don't know if you can, but he actually he got a gifted from Snoop directly, personally, the Death Row
chain
emblem. Yeah. You see it on. I mean, Snoop gives it out to people. I don't want to say a lot on his Instagram.
Very few.
But when he does.
Few.
But when he does, he posts it on his Instagram, and it's a big deal to get one of these chains from Snoop. Yeah. So, and I know that Snoop's very heavily invested into Gala, correct?
So, the cool thing about what happened was, going back to Eric and what happened, Eric was a big music guy. That's why MySpace, right? He was on MySpace. And then once we launched Gala took off and did extremely, extremely well. but he wanted to go back to his roots, right? And I don't want to speak on behalf of Eric. I'm just telling a story.
Yep.
But so now we have not only Gala Games, but now they have Gala Film, Gala Music. So now not only do we have play to earn, we have listen to earn, we have watch to earn, all of these different activities. So the world that you know of going to the movies, watching the movie, and them getting paid, you getting nothing out of it other than the pure enjoyment of watching it. But what if you could watch it, get the enjoyment, and earn something out of it?
100%. I mean, I think we need a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
But like literally, when you were telling me that, it blew my mind. Like, that you can own literally digital space of anybody who's listening to a certain track, to watching a certain film. That right there is impressive.
And then that's how Snoop came around. So I was very fortunate to be one of the top guys in the world, and did a couple other requirements, and they flew us out first class. Got to hang with Snoop that weekend, Labor Day weekend, barbecued. They carried bags around of weed. I don't smoke, but it was a really cool experience to sit in the same chair that Dr. Dre, Eminem produced their music with in his studios. It was really just an awesome experience, and that's just one of many, many different experiences that crypto's allowed me to have.
Well, yeah, because you sent me a link, I don't know, a couple months ago, and you said, "Here, look, it's official," and the headline was, Death Row Records officially partners their whole catalog with Gala.
With Gala. So we, when I say we Gala, I'm not Gala. I'm obviously an independent rep, and I state that very clearly. But Gala.
Yeah, but hold on. You're an independent rep, but you were kind of there from the beginning.
Oh no, I was one of 20 people that launched the company.
Yeah,
there was only 20 of us. But yeah, I like to be an independent, so I can come and go as I please, and I do that with not just one, but I've got now close to 15, 17, and counting different blockchains that I work with on a person-to-person, dealing with the CEOs, dealing with their development team, helping with the marketing, helping on every aspect of that, and then launching their node projects for them.
So I mean, you had me at, when you came to my office, you broke everything down, you showed me everything.
Yeah.
So nodes, crypto, and that whole space. So how do we get past what's currently going on in today's world with the whole debacle collapse of FTX? Because a lot of people even ask me, like, "Hey, Brian, did you have any money in FTX?" And you were actually one of the first people. You sent me a message when it was just slowly breaking, and you sent me the article of the CEO or founder owner of Binance, how he basically said, "Listen, we're not going to move forward with the FTX deal because there's billions of dollars missing, and we can't account for it." And
misappropriated funds.
Exactly.
Yep.
But no, but this is in the very beginning. I mean, FTX was still an active account. Yeah. They still had FTX on the arena in Miami before they yanked that down a few days later. Yeah. But the thing is that, I mean, you have your pulse on a lot of this stuff, and like how do you still mentor people in the crypto space? I know that nodes in crypto, the actual coins and
they go hand in hand. Yeah.
They go hand in hand, but I mean they are a little bit different.
Yep.
But how do you have a conversation with somebody now when the mainstream media is basically saying that crypto is not secure, that it's that put us back like 2 years?
I think it really pushed us up 2 years. It's saving a lot of people a lot of money, and it's really about how perception, right? How do you look at things? A lot of people lost a lot of money, but what the beginners forget to understand is the fundamentals. If you don't own your keys, you don't own your crypto. That's day one. Yep. I learned that before. That was my first hiccup, my first time that I got scammed when I first got in 8 years ago. I learned that 8 years ago. So I've always told my friends and family, if you don't own the keys, you don't own your crypto. So unfortunately, there wasn't enough education out there, but now the whole world is getting educated. So we can look at it as a total loss, which it is. It's very unfortunate, and I feel bad for a lot of people. I know a lot of people lost some money, so it's very sad.
Same.
But it's also, but I lost a lot of money the very first venture I went into, but it prepared me. I didn't stop the industry. I didn't quit the industry. I just took that knowledge. I said, now that I'm smarter, now let's move forward. One step backwards, two steps forward. And as an industry, I think that's exactly what's happening. We all are very cognizant. We're all now a lot more careful about what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I think those steps are very necessary. You're going to have major explosions in order to move forward on any industry.
No, 100%. You actually explained that very, very beautifully. But so to get back to, what do you think it was actually the reason behind the collapse?
Well, you would say?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you take someone that has zero banking experience, zero. Yes, he's a genius, but he's obviously not that genius. You know, he's gonna be sitting in jail for the rest of his life. But you take someone with zero banking experience, you put him behind a bank. What's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, and he, what he did with all that money, it's really.
They have like what, something like 100 properties they own in the Bahamas, something like that. I don't know. It's a ridiculous number.
Well, yeah, I mean, but all that stuff is going to be liquidated in the bankruptcy, of course.
Short-term gains gets you nothing. But
how much? Like the percentage? So there's over 1 million users on FTX that lost money.
Yeah.
Okay. How much? What do you think the percentage is of what people are going to get back?
You know, that's hard to say because you don't know what the government's going to hold. I've seen different government projects where they've recovered XYZ, and 3-4 years later, still no one's ever recovered a penny from the government. I mean, I know one very personally, one that I lost money in, and that's been 4 years ago, and still the government hasn't released one single penny. They still haven't even had a court date to finalize everything. So it was crazy when all this happened, because I remember 8 months ago, I was in the Bahamas right next to FTX's headquarters, meeting with the prime ministers for one of our banking solutions for the Bahamas. But we couldn't do anything for them because in order to help a country like that, and they want to be known as the hub in the Bahamas. That's why they invited them down and everything else. And we're sitting at the table with some of the prime ministers and talking about all of these, and they're like, FTX wants this and FTX wants that, and you see where they kind of are, though. But sometimes when you're so anxious to be part of that inner circle, you kind of you don't cross your T's and dot your I's, unfortunately. And that's what happened. And it's very sad. But like I said, in any industry, it's a necessary evil, if you will, to have big hiccups like that, Bernie Madoff type situation. Now, hopefully it's not that big with different things, but you see them, unfortunately.
Well, because the thing is, I mean, my initial thought, and after reading and started, really diving into the whole debacle, was that he just literally didn't know what he was doing.
That's it.
And but unfortunately, that's not an excuse to lose all these people's money, especially
greed.
Well, because the thing is, at the end of the day, if you inflate your numbers, it would be like if I went down to a bank and I said, "Hey, I make $1.5 million a year, but I only make actually $200,000 a year." And the bank gives me a loan based on the 1.5, and it audits me later and says, "Hey, you never even made that much money." Even though I'm making the payments and everything's good, I'm still liable.
It's mortgage fraud.
Yeah. So, but really at the end of the day, I mean, but I'm starting to really think that he actually had a plan to inflate his numbers in hopes of raising more money through, was it Alameda and with Tiger and what all the other funds that they had. But that's fraud.
It's fraud.
I mean, but he invested so much money into into the U.S. government, and and got a lot of people to look different ways. Yeah. Which I think, I don't want to get political on this at all, but I definitely want to bring up the fact that I really want to know your opinion on regulations of the crypto industry. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if anything was to happen, this did it. Yeah. This definitely torpedoed it forward, where even if the government didn't want to regulate, they have to regulate now.
Of course.
For anybody to do things in the U.S.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on regulation for crypto, and do you think that's going to affect your business?
I think it's going to help our business. I've said that from day one. The second they got in trouble, I said, this is exactly what we needed, is a lot more, because it's going to weed out all the bad players, right? So, and when you've put the time and the effort and the money that we've put into our platforms and our projects and the things that we do, you don't want people like that out there screwing people over. You want it to be regulated.
Oh, 100%.
We go through the checks and balances on every project, and we've got the correct legal team to get us through those. And these guys, when you purposely put yourself outside the United States for certain reasons, which is what they did.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think if they were inside the United States, it would have been monitored a lot closer. So they knew exactly how to skirt around those
The laws.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with even, I'm working on a project, a crypto casino project, and
that
they
sounds
can't.
familiar.
Yeah, and they can't. There's no regulation in the U.S. You can't get a crypto gaming license. So you have to go outside the U.S.
Yep.
in order to get it, and then you can't even market the project or the product in the U.S. But people find out ways to get around it, VPNs and everything else, right? So, and we had that problem. I remember years ago, if you wanted to play, online poker, when that whole debacle happened with Full Tilt and a few other online poker, you had to go down to another country and be in Costa Rica. And actually, a good friend of mine who I sit on the board, he's actually the director, president, founder of Cherry Series of Poker. He actually had to go down to Costa Rica for several years to literally, to play online poker.
The hub.
And whenever the WPT, the World Series of Poker, is in town, then he obviously comes back, plays those in-person events. But yeah, I mean, like literally, But again, to get back to you're a mentor now. Like I see a lot of your videos. When people even when people ask me about crypto, I'm like, listen, I'm not the guy. I know a little about a lot.
Yeah.
But I definitely am not an expert by any means. But I do fairly well. But you're now out there mentoring, saying, listen, you know what? Get on board with me. I'll show you the way. But how do you get past with FTX, a multi-billion-dollar company, crashes and burns, and you're now kind of stuck here going.
I'm still pushing appointments, 10 appointments a day. Why? Because people out there, especially in the economy that we're having,
Yep.
they're searching, they're looking for something. When you have somebody out there says, I can show you no matter what that we call it a digital reward, no matter what that digital reward goes to, I can show you how to create that on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, wow, they find it fascinating. And I did as well, and I still do. That's why I'm out there mentoring people. I want to teach them. I want to show them there's an easier and better way out there. There's so many different avenues out there that people try to pull you in. There's staking, there's this, there's that, there's buying a coin, there's trading a coin. I had one of my good friends here in Vegas. She's a physician. She's a what is she? She's a doctor here in Vegas. I'll leave it at that. And loved this lady to death. She knows I mentor people for years in crypto. I've asked her if she needed help. No, Billy, I got this. She actually owns a property in the Bahamas as well. And very dear friend of mine. She's a sweetheart. And one day she calls me. She sees my video online. She goes, I need to speak to you immediately. I said, yeah, just call me whenever you get a break. And she shot me a text. She goes, you available? And yeah, I jump on with her. She goes, I need your help. I'm like, yeah, anything for you. She goes, I've lost $350,000 because this guy told me he was going to teach me how to trade cryptocurrency. I've lost it all. That was my house that I was buying in the Bahamas, and now I need help. And I was like, what? Why are you trying to trade? All these people that get now. Listen, traders. There's nothing wrong with a trader if you know how to trade.
Yeah.
90% of these people losing money, they don't know how to trade. So I tell them, I'm like, if you're going to do it, go get an education behind it, learn how to do it, and get into it. Yeah. But why it's like going to the roulette table there here in Vegas and just throwing $350,000 down. So now I'm helping her. I said, listen, here's what I'm going to do. I still got a consulting fee now. So I said, I'll help you, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to help you I'm going to help you make what you are going to make off of that situation in the next 24 months.
No, no. I mean,
And I've showed you that game plan of how I'm doing that, and I'm doing the same thing with her.
oh no, 100%. I kind of wish I can pull up he came to my office, wrote everything out, and it's still sitting in my office, and it's just literally a flow chart, and it just makes all the sense in the world. But you know what's funny? I have the same issue in my world. You know, obviously I own SKC and big marketing, branding, digital agency, and even my friends. The one thing I don't do is I don't go to my friends and say, "Hey, you need me."
Yeah.
All right.
I never do that either.
My friends know that I'm here and I do this, and I would say once a month, maybe twice a month, I'll get a phone call from my friend, a friend, saying, "Hey, my website got hacked," or "Hey, my website guy went MIA," or "Hey, I need help with this logo," or "I need it," and sometimes it's help, like somebody just screwed them, and I tell them the same thing. I'm like, listen, you know what? I'm your friend. I'll make it a priority, but I'm going to charge you just like I charge anybody else because I really wish you would have came to me first.
As I told her.
Yep. And the thing is that you wouldn't have lost that money. Yep. I mean, I can probably count more than 20 times that I've had actually friends, people that I know personally that have come to me and literally said, hey, I spent $30,000. I spent $50,000 on either a website, a marketing project, branding project, whatever it is, and it didn't turn out the way they wanted to, or they got ripped off. And they're, hey, can you help me? I don't really have a budget. And I'm like, well, the budget that you just spent on that, you should have been spending on me. I don't know what to say, but I feel bad for them. And I would say 90% of the time, I've figured out a way to help them because they're my friends.
Or they'll these people know you, and they're going to go, I've got a great scenario, almost the same scenario. Here's the opposite side of that too, where they say, yeah, I just wasted $350,000. And I said, what did you start with? I started with $100,000. Okay. Now, to make back that, you need to invest something. You need to put something up. We need to get you some collateral, some assets going. What are you willing to put in to make that back? 20,000? How are you going to want to get, it's so frustrating. I'm looking at you like you just put 100,000 into something you had no clue or didn't know the guy, had no, it blows my mind. And I got another couple friends of mine doing the same thing. I've told them for years, they've known me. Now, granted, I've been mentoring for years and years. I just haven't launched my mentorship program online. I've mentored people forever doing what I'm doing. But I've told these two girls for, I don't know, 3-4 years. Listen, let me teach you. Let me show you. Let me get you set up. And they're like, yeah, okay, but what's the minimum? These girls are millionaires, multimillionaires. They're like, but what's the minimum we can put in with you to get started? And I'm like, didn't you just spend $50,000, $100,000 over here, or $200,000 on this restaurant that just went down, or $400,000 on this thing that went down? But usually because
everybody wants to tiptoe into it.
Everybody.
And because, again, the reason why I had you come to my office and show me everything visually, I had to see the track record. Yep. And thank you for that. I mean, it really opened up my eyes that this is not bullshit. Yep. This is actually like real. I mean, you literally invest into something that is going to create money. I would say the only equivalent would be if a bank or the government said, hey, if you take $100,000 and put it into this fund, you're guaranteed to get a return of
XYZ
20%. Yep. All right. And that'd be the only way I'd be like, okay, 20% on $100,000 or even more, done. Right. I'll do it all day long. Nothing's ever a guarantee. And even you told me that, but these are the best channels. I invested a little, in the 5 figures with you, or not with you, but with your guidance. With my help. Yeah. With your guidance. And what you've told me over the next year, maybe a little bit longer, that could turn into 7 figures.
Easily.
And, and the thing is, if you guys are watching, you really need to follow Billy. I believe it's at Billy WO.
Yep.
Woo.
And there's a lot of fake accounts, but that's my only account. Yeah.
Yeah, just make sure that you message him and make him send you a selfie back. No, but yeah, at Billy Woo.
And you know, you said it earlier. It's about having your pulse on there. And one of the things that we do is I'm connected with so many different blockchains. And when you start with a purpose and you find a need in the world that needs fixed, and you focus on that, and you say, all right, this is the problem. Here's the solution. Then we go find a CEO that has the experience, unlike a FTX, like someone that maybe was the founder of a Discover Card or a major bank, and we put them in charge, which we've done and currently doing, on one of our projects, and then they help us launch something, and then now you're creating and solving an issue and solving a problem in the world, and that's kind of what we've done in so many different industries. We've got blockchains now in banking and in energy and gold and precious metals, and
Which I believe I'm in that one.
yes,
I'm in that one because
that one's really exciting.
Well, it's really exciting because it's actually backed by gold.
Yes,
And there's actually, I believe you can get gold as rewards.
you can.
Yeah.
You can
So-
you can mint. You know what I do is I teach people, obviously, as you know, but for them, teach people how to buy these software nodes. These software nodes create a digital reward. Those digital rewards add up in your wallet. It's just like a bank account. It goes in there every single day. Once that company launches, it goes on to a DeFi exchange, and then with enough volume, then it gets picked up by a major exchange, as I showed you step by step step by step. Once it gets picked up on a DeFi exchange, there's no holding time. It's not like a stock where you have to hold it for a year or 2 years. Once you buy that software node, it starts minting that coin. Once it hits the DeFi, you can liquid. You could buy, sell, trade, anything you want to.
So actually, to break it down in layman's terms, but very simply, right? And cut me off if I'm actually explaining this wrong. So the difference is that most of the people, the general public, get their word that this coin, this cryptocurrency, is now live on, let's say, Coinbase, because that's probably the most reliable one right now, right? So, and I'm not endorsing it just in case. Binance. So there's Binance too. So, but before it hits there, you've already when you have a node, you're already creating it, in anticipation of it actually going to the exchanges, whether or not it is a small exchange or even to the really big one. If it gets to a big exchange, game over, right? I mean,
we're building value. So it's not about getting a coin on there to make money. It's about having a solution for a problem and adding value. That's where the real value comes in.
Well, like for example, like when you take a stock, right?
Yep.
And when a stock is about to go public, all right, and it's not like you can come in and buy the stock options beforehand. I mean, you can be an investor in a company, but there's no way of actually getting that. But with a node, you're actually creating digital rewards beforehand in anticipation that when it does go live, you were actually showing me, I'm not going to name the company unless you want to, but you were showing me one of your wallets that you've got 100 million plus in reward with this one, and you're just literally sitting back waiting for that to go live. And once it goes live, you have the option of going, is this going to pop, right from the beginning and then maybe drop? Is this going to go up? But you've already invested into that. So you're like an investor into an early.
I'm an early adapter. Yeah. And in different blockchain adoptions. So in different areas. So that's the exciting part. Knowing that you can be a part of something that's literally going to change lives. That's really, really exciting. And then when you get to see your deposits on a day-to-day basis. Now, I've helped over 200 plus people here in Vegas alone buy these software nodes. 200. Now, I can't predict the future. I can't predict what those rewards will go to. But if they even go to a couple pennies, we're going to have a lot of brand new millionaires here in Vegas.
What no, which is awesome. I mean, and the thing is, but you don't just do Vegas; you do the whole world.
Oh yeah, I do all over the world.
Yeah, and so there's one project. So a few months back, we hopped on a call. We were talking to a buddy of mine, who's one of the partners of 11.
Our buddy. I've known Gino too for like 20 years.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I apologize. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Different circles.
Probably longer than you.
Yeah, no. You actually met him through Bo, right?
I met him in 2001.
You met him before me, yeah.
Yeah.
So, when he was in very
Here in
heavily,
Vegas.
yep.
I owned my nightclub in Tampa at the time.
Yeah.
And I was flying back and forth to Vegas. I was a sports marketing agent, and I had 45 pro athletes that I would bring my athletes to Vegas, and that's how I met Bo and Gino. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're on this call, and I don't even remember what the initial purpose of the call was.
But I don't either.
I know it's really weird, but I know that we got on the call,
Yeah.
and then you literally said, "Hey, do you guys want to see what I'm working on?"
Yeah.
And I've been in the nightclub industry. Obviously, Gino's in it. You were in it, and there was a couple other people on the call, and you literally unveiled this mega project that you guys went and acquired this land. And land is a bad idea because it's actually a pre-built, let's say, installation.
Yep.
And you broke down what you guys are doing with that, with all your partners. You broke down all the partnerships, all of the money that's already been pre-committed by these large hospitality companies, hotel brands.
Brands that's known worldwide, yeah.
But this is something that, and it's going to be a community like his own zip code community, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll have his own name, like a town.
You're skirting very well.
I'm doing very well. And literally, that is going to be 100% crypto based.
I wouldn't say it's 100% crypto based. I will say it's 100% crypto friendly.
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, I like that.
Because it's definitely crypto friendly. It's gonna be an extreme resort, is what it's gonna be. That's really.
But you could also live there though too, right?
Oh, 100%. It's a resort. It's an extreme resort, and it's.
Would we almost call it like a destination?
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be in Colorado, so it's gonna have some year-round functionalities. It's gonna be above and below ground. Hint, hint. And I showed you guys pictures and videos.
Pictures. You showed us. We got the whole video tour.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't want to tease you guys. I don't want you to be like, okay, don't try to hit me up trying to get the inside information once it's ready to go. But it was really, really, really interesting of that project, because that is something that is taking the crypto community with the normal community. Yep. I don't know how to even traditional, right? And they're all kind of coming together to where the only caveat, and I did misspoke when I says 100% crypto. What I mean 100% crypto friendly, like what you just said. Yep. That literally the people that are, doing well in crypto, or that want to be paid by crypto, or just want to be off the grid and just be in the crypto space, that is going to be a community for them, or even a destination resort for them to come visit.
Yeah, it's open to anybody that wants to come once it's finished. We've got about 4 years at the max. We're in the middle of raising some more capital, but it's going to be an extreme resort, family friendly. Anybody could come out for that. Above ground, below ground. I'm going to throw the nugget.
No, you can't.
No, okay.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I'll wait.
Yeah.
That's another episode?
Another episode.
Okay.
We'll call it I Threw the Nugget.
Okay. There's the nugget.
No, because,
it's an exciting venture. Yeah, that crypto gave me. I wouldn't be in that situation. And that was my first.
That was my whole lead up. That was my lead up.
That was my first mentor right there. The guy that brought me into this project. So there's 3 of us that are the founders and owners of this project. And he was one of the guys. He was my very first mentor in crypto. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting.
So to kind of segue a little bit. So a few months back, I don't a few months back, we you invited me out and introduced me to a really interesting and very nice guy, Bruno.
Yeah, down in Miami.
Down in Miami, he actually owns the Mansion Yacht, probably
It's the largest yacht in Miami. That's a house yacht.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, we actually got to stay on
10,000
it.
square feet.
Yep. We actually got to stay on it. We actually rebuilt his entire website for him.
Okay, nice.
I don't even know if you know that.
No.
No, you should check it out. mansionyachts.com.
Definitely check that out. It's fun. That same yacht is when Super Bowl was in Miami, Michael Jordan rented out that yacht, took out all the furniture, painted it to Michael Jordan's style. After I think he paid $350,000 for the week for that thing, and then after the Super Bowl, repainted it back to the original, put all the original furniture back in, and gave it back. But it's a really, really cool place. If you're doing an event in Miami,
you have to consider that.
You have to consider that to take. I'm going to do something for some of my top sales reps and some of my top leaders that and people that just make a lot of money with me. We're just going to rent it out. We had a great time that week, other than the rain the last day, but that's Miami. But
we got flooded. When we were leaving,
yeah, we got flooded,
which is actually really interesting. That was pretty fun. No, but the segue into that is, that it's not, when people think crypto, this and that, there's a lot of fun side to it too. And the fact, I mean, you introduced me to Bruno, and he was incredible. We actually had a pretty cool little show and tell event.
That. Yeah, I saw that.
No, we did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When we did it. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that, and then then he had the boat show.
Yep. That's what I saw.
Yep, and he had the boat show, and then I invited. Actually, again, I feel like Gino's always on all my podcasts. Yeah. But Gino came out. Eric Galen, he's one of the his law firm represents a lot of the 11 verticals. Mm-hmm. Anyways, he came out. He wanted to take a look at it, and not only were they beyond impressed with the boat and the structure and everything, but they were really impressed with Bruno.
Yeah. I've known Bruno for 2000, and I met him at my nightclub in Tampa. I think it was 2002. So 20 years. 20 years, yeah. Longtime friends. Good buddy. We've had some fun together.
And you know what's funny? He would really appreciate this. Bill, you look really good on paper. That was the inside joke when me, Gino, Eric, and Bruno, for some reason, it was, I think it all started because Gino goes, wow, I saw the photos of this boat, but you can't really imagine until you
appreciate it
until you get on the boat.
Yeah.
So Eric or Bruno, one of the two said, wow, so you look really good on paper. So it was it just became like the thing for the entire weekend. Yeah. But anyways, it was really fun. But we had the opportunity. He was really, you gave me a really good introduction. He gave me the opportunity to rebuild his entire brand for the Mansion Yachts on the web.
He's going to start accepting crypto as well. Yep.
No, there you go. I said I didn't even know that.
Yep.
And actually, that's a really good thing for the upcoming Miami NFT week and for the Bitcoin conference in April, April or May. I think it's April. And
that's just one of many doors. When I got into crypto, I remember. I'll tell you a funny story. Because it's important. People see me now with the success I have, but when I first got into crypto, I had a failing business that just, business up and down. At that particular point, I was in the medical field, and I was just burnt out. My business wasn't going that well, and I was just ready for something different. And I started Googling crypto and blockchain, and I was like, man, this seems like. So, this is what hooked me. And here's a tip for you guys. Here's a nugget for you guys. We okay on time?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a nugget for you guys. This was 8 years ago. I Googled blockchain and Walmart, blockchain FedEx, blockchain Mercedes, blockchain. Every company and every one of them were using blockchain. But nobody in my circle, not one single person, knew anything about crypto or blockchain. Nobody. So I was like, this is something called emerging market. I was smart enough at that point, even 8 years ago, to say, there's a space, here's a gap, the only people investing in this right now or Fortune 500 people that I know of, but I need to find a mentor. I need somebody to show me what's the right path to get in there. And I had this guy hit me up, and he'd seen me speak on stage. This was a couple of years back. Before that, so it was 10 years ago. And he goes, "Hey, man, I posted on social media, who do you know in the blockchain or crypto?" And he said, "Hey, man, let me get with you, man. I got the perfect guy for you." And everybody's like, "It's a scam. Don't do it. It's for drug money. Don't do crypto."
Wow.
This is 8 years ago. And I was like, so there was like 40 messages, and he was the only one. I do with his hand raised. I do. So I meet. He convinced me to have lunch with him 2 days later, and I meet up with him. And he was smart enough to put me on the phone with his mentor, which is the guy that ended up mentoring me. And at that time, I mean, I probably only had like $4,000 in my account. You know, I'll just say it like it is. And he calls me. It's not the case today, thank God. But he
Gotta throw a little nugget out there.
yeah, not the case. But at that time, and he gets on the phone. And he goes, he goes, "Yeah, you want to come on board and learn about crypto?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Why don't you come to Iceland?" Have I told you the story?
Iceland?
Yeah, did I tell you the story?
Uh-uh.
This is you'll appreciate this story. This is how I got in. This is literally the
In
first
Iceland.
day. Well, this is the story. This is how I got into crypto. First day. So I'll tell you the story.
All right, so hold on. I'm gonna readjust because this is gonna be a good story here.
This is a funny story.
All right,
You'll
yeah.
appreciate this one.
Let's go.
I go to the restaurant. It was called Doc B's at International Mall in Tampa, Florida. And I'm sitting in Doc B's. This guy puts him on the phone. He goes, "Hey, man, nice to meet you. Very, very likable guy." And he goes, "Yeah, I've heard good things. I heard you're successful and this and that." I'm thinking in my head, "Yeah, I'm very successful. It's just a really kind of dip in my story right now, but he doesn't need to know that, right?" So I'm like, "All right." And he goes, "Hey, man, well, man, if you're so successful, why don't you jump on a flight? We're going to be in Iceland in 2 weeks. Why don't you jump on a flight and come to Iceland and meet me in person and learn exactly what we do if you really want to get in blockchain and crypto?" I was like, "Yeah, man, that sounds exciting. Yeah." I was like, "This sounds really freaking expensive," is what that sounds like. So I'm like, "All right, damn it." I said, "All right, well, all right, well, yeah. What's that trip run, like 10 or 12 grand?" He goes, "Yeah, that's about right." I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm like, all right. How am I going to make this work?" I said, he goes, "Yeah, why don't you jump on, book your flight and come up, and I'll show you exactly what we're doing so you can get locked in." I said, "That sounds great." I said, "Hey, let me give you a better idea." I said, "Why don't you give me a quota to hit in the next 2 weeks? And if I hit that quota, then you'll fly me to Iceland to meet you and go through this." He goes, "Well, that's funny. I didn't know I offered that." He goes, "Why would I want to do that?" I said, "Because you're gonna want to meet me." And he goes, "I don't need to meet you." I said, "You're gonna want to meet me." I said, "Listen, if you're that afraid, to throw a quota out there." He goes, "All right, smart ass." That's exactly what he said. "All right, smart ass. You go sell $50,000 worth of these." At the time, they were S7 miners, right? These hardware miners that we were selling. "You go sell $50,000 worth of these miners in the next 5 days because the trip was coming up. I'll buy your trip out to Iceland, Reykjavik." And I was like, "Fuck yeah." So I call him 3 days later. I said, "Now, what exactly is a S7 miner?" I had no clue. It was my first meeting. No freaking clue what a miner was. And he starts laughing. He goes, "Nice meeting you." Click. He's like, "Yeah, I don't have to worry about hearing from this guy again." So I call him 3 days later. Ring, ring, ring. "Hey, man, how you doing?" "Doing good." He goes, I said, "Hey, you need my flight information?" He goes, "No, I don't." He goes, "I need you to go out and sell if you want to participate." I said, "Yeah, I've done that." "You sold $50,000 worth in 3 days of these miners." I said, "No, sir. I sold $350,000 worth in 3 days." He said, "You're full of shit." I said, "Go open up your back office and look." Sure enough, I had $350,000 worth of sales in 3 days of a product I didn't even know, but I needed to meet this guy because he was worth 9 figures plus.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm going to meet you." And sure enough, he bought my flight. 2 weeks later, I'm in Reykjavik, Iceland. I got pictures, videos. The only time I've been in Iceland. And I flew up there, and that's when I met him. And then the next 13 months, I was on his private jet. I was in 13 countries in 13 months learning crypto. That's how I got started.
Really?
Yep.
That's impressive.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe I've known you so long. I've never heard that story.
Bo knows well. He would see all my stories and stuff like that when I was in Iceland. But that's how I met him, and and I became the #1 rep for him for the next couple years, selling these S7s, S9s, these miners. That company and I was like, man, if Bitcoin could only hit $10,000, we're gonna be rich. It gets all the way to 20, and I'm burning like $80,000 a month, right? We're flying around on private jets. We're renting out islands. This is 6-7 years ago. Anyway, so that happens, and then Bitcoin goes all the way to 20,000. We're like, whoa, we're killing it. I'm reinvesting most of my money back and buying more nodes, and all of a sudden it drops down to $3,000, and it's stuck there. 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, company goes under. I lose everything. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So now I'm depressed again. I'm like, oh shit, now I'm broke again because I didn't pull out, because you're leaving it in there. You're thinking you're just going to rock it out, and I learned a valuable lesson there as well. But he introduced me to his good friend, who is now the guy that I've worked with now for the last 5 years. I've only worked with 2 people, and the whole time I've been in crypto. And this guy was a lot more successful than he was. He brought me in. He goes, listen, we've got this really cool thing that we're going to be doing. I'm going to be calling you. That's why I picked up his call. And I flew to Utah and I met with him, and he goes, yeah, we've got this and this and this. And he's painting me a picture of all these different really cool projects that are now 5 years later coming to fruition that I'm working on. And he goes, man, you've got to be a part of this program and this platform and all these different projects that we're going to do. We're going to change the world. And he wasn't worried about money. And I think the real game changers in this industry, they don't care about the money. They don't care about the recognition. They care about the purpose of how it's going to change the world. And it's like Steve Jobs-ish.
So let me ask you a question. So I would probably think that the fact that crypto goes up, it goes down, is kind of, it's not stable, right? That alone, with somebody that wants to invest into the crypto space, it makes your industry that much more valuable to get in on the nodes.
Let's talk about that, because most people don't understand what nodes are. Most people, let me explain why they don't. In stocks, you can buy a stock, it can go up and down. You can buy a crypto, it can go up and down. In stocks, you can trade crypto and you can lose money or make money. In crypto, you can trade crypto, you can make money and lose money. But in stocks, there's nothing in the real world that issues you free stock every single day.
Exactly.
So in crypto, we have something called miners or nodes or software nodes that actually create that
every
digital reward every day. So when people say, only 3% of the world even knows what crypto is, 1%'s active in it, and only 1% of that 1% even know what I do. So it's a really niche arena that I've landed in, and it's done it really well for me. But I think it's really selfish of me to be blessed and have this many successful people around me to help me hit that and achieve those levels without me giving back. So obviously that's why I do it. And I'll tell you my biggest success story of being in crypto is nobody in my family ever came from money. We didn't come from money. We talked about this. You know that. Your family didn't come from money. And 2 years ago, I went home for Thanksgiving, and nobody in my family has ever probably had more than $30,000, $40,000 in their account ever. I don't come from money. It's not where I come from. And when I got involved in crypto, I started doing extremely well, and I tried to convince them, guys, let me help you. Nobody wanted to do it. 2 years ago, after seeing me fly around on private jets and seeing me in Dubai and Ferraris and my Bentley, all this blah blah blah, all this superficial stuff, but
there's got to be something there.
There's got to be something there.
Yeah.
And so finally they listened to me. Finally they got in on that first company in Gala that I told you about, and I told them when I said, listen, this is what you want to do. And I got them involved. 2 years ago, I went home. Every single person in my family, my mother, my nieces, my nephews, my brothers, every single person had over $500,000 in their account.
Which
Then I helped them convert that into nodes, which means now in the next 12 months, you have me on here less than 6 months from now. Every single person, my nieces, which are 27, 28, and one's 26, my brothers, and my mother, now she didn't want my money. She's like, I want my own money. She didn't want charity. She goes, you teach me how to do this, and which I did. But every single person in my family now should become a multi-millionaire because they took the time and they humbled themselves and let me teach them and show them what to do. And to me, there's nothing better. There's no car worth that. There's no trip worth that. But to know that you've helped somebody go that's stressed day to day in their life, that now, if they go blow everything in their account today, guess what? Tomorrow, they're still getting another check. Another.
I mean, the thing is that, like, and again, there's going to be a lot of people watching this, and they're like, okay, that still sounds way too good to be true. But I think the best thing is 3 years from now. 3 years from now, we're 2022 right now.
Yeah.
Going into 2025, we need to rewatch this together.
Yeah, let's do
it. Because we'll
be popping champagne, and it'll probably be on an island somewhere, but we will watch this.
Probably an island, a yacht, whatever.
Or the plane.
But the whole thing is because people want to hate, talk down, call it a scam, call it fraud of things that they don't understand. Of
course.
And it's ignorance, it's pure ignorance. And I'll tell you, everybody that's in this space that is big crypto players, and I've actually brought up your name before and talked about nodes, they're like, he's smart. He's actually ahead of it. Like they're still trying to play catch up with the loss of Bitcoin and Ethereum down. They're trying to play catch up to get their money back before they can start reinvesting it. Yep. But it was even one thing that we talked about is, hey, you're going to give me some tips that the general public can research on their own. Yep. And here, I'm going to show you how to make a couple $100,000 so you can take this money and put it into a node that gives you money every single day.
We call it a digital asset, which SEC doesn't like calling it money, by the way. Note to whoever's watching, listeing.
You know what? But hey, I'm a part of your company, so I can say pretty much whatever I want. But I will agree with you.
This is not income disclosure.
Yeah, but it's a reward that has a financial value, right?
If you say so. My legal team's not here to hush me.
I think you're doing a great job of hushing yourself right now.
Yeah. But they'd be proud of me.
Yeah, but the whole thing at the end of the day is that if you just take the time, investigate, research, understand. I mean, like literally,
it can be a game changer in your life.
I'm watching you with even people that we know, helping them. And the thing is, you said something to me before we got on the air, and you said, I remember when $1 million was a lot of money. Like literally, hey, you know what? That would have been game over. Put $1 million in my account. I'm happy. I'll live the rest of my life off $1 million. Yeah. Nowadays, I mean, $1 million is still a lot of money.
Still a lot of money.
But is that retirement money? Probably not. Well, it is retirement money depending on where you live in the country and the budget that you're living on. Right. But like people like, me and you, like our lifestyle, our monthly nut, our entertainment, traveling.
Sorry, Mom.
No, but I mean, you fly all over. I mean, I've seen you in Italy. You were in Canada. You've been all over the place.
Dubai, Italy, China, you name it, all over. Going back to Dubai, I love Dubai. Dubai is amazing opportunities right now.
Okay, so next time you go, I got to go with you. I've never been.
Oh, you've never been to Dubai?
I've never been to Dubai.
It's just blowing up right now.
Ibiza? Have you been to Ibiza?
I have not been to Ibiza, though.
Okay. So how about No, it's right there.
Oh,
well, kind of. I mean, it's, we
did the Dooms. Dubai's fun. Dubai can be fun.
Yeah, it's definitely the same region.
It was fun because my first crypto company, we flew over there, right? And it was the first time I ever flew first class internationally. Got to lay back in first class, Emirates, and drink. I was like, all right, because it was a long flight. I'm like, every 10 minutes, bring me another drink till I pass out. And I wake up, bring me a steak. And they did. They had a shower.
100%.
I got to get up and take a shower, take naps. And I look back there, and my buddy's in the back, and he's like, so I was like, crypto pays, bitch. Crypto pays.
Yeah, oh no, 100%. Yeah.
And so they gave us, we were there for 8 days, 9 days. They gave us 20 Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces to drive anywhere around in Dubai. Now, the thing about Dubai, you don't know this, but you see all these Lamborghinis, the cops and everything that chase you down. But what they don't tell you is inside the city limits there, you're like, yeah, let me get up and get some speed. You're driving the Ferrari or whatever, the Lambo through there. They have the police station or the speed traps right there on a pole, and they get you before you go into the tunnel and everything else where most people kind of accelerate. They'll get you, and when you turn in the car, you got to pay it right there.
Oh wow!
So they don't even pull you over. You're in a rental car, so when you turn in that rental car, they've already snapped it and the tags. They know it's your rental. You're done. So there was like 20-something people there that had $400, $600 tickets.
Oh no! So
it was kind of fun. I laughed. I didn't get a ticket.
No, I've had a lot of friends that've been there, and they swear by it. I don't want to dive in too much into it, but
zero tax.
Wow, no. Yeah. Hold on. Let's have another conversation about business here. Yeah. But no, I definitely, if you're going to go, like, Ibiza is definitely a summertime thing. Yeah. Right around the end of May, like pretty much between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Yeah. Anywhere in between.
Up till Labor Day,
yeah. Yeah. Well, typically the end of September is like their closing parties, which is what I went at the end of September.
Did you go with Bo?
No.
Okay.
No,
he was just there.
No, actually, I went with my business partner, Alicia. We actually went out to meet. We did Burning Man one year, and with the founder of Cirque, a guy named Guy Liberté. Mm-hmm. And, we got invited to his camp. It was his birthday weekend at Burning Man. And then literally they said, hey, everybody's going to Ibiza. He's got a club out there. He's got a compound. We decided to go. We got our own room at a resort, and
hope so.
Well, no, because we got invited to stay at the compound.
Oh, I see.
But we just didn't know. I mean, very eccentric people. Yeah. And if you know anything about my business partner Alicia, like we're strictly just business partners, and we just didn't want to be in that environment just in case it got like really, let's say, eccentrically weird. Yeah. I don't mind it. She probably doesn't mind it, but together it would just been weird. Yeah. To be in that environment. Yeah. Anyways, had a great time. Was there 4 or 5 days. We actually flew into. So I learned a trick. You fly into London, and then you literally book your trips from London everywhere you want to go. Yeah. Back to London. So do your round trip from Vegas or wherever you want, New York, wherever you live, and just fly into London. We flew into Gatwick instead of Heathrow. Actually, we found there's a train that literally takes you right to Victoria Station in downtown London, which our hotel was like right there. Mm-hmm. Everything ended up working out. So we spent a day and a half in London. Really funny story. Went to London. We're checking in at a restaurant we're about to eat at. We're only there one night. So we got there at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're leaving the next morning. And I get a text from my buddy Gino from 11. Mm-hmm. And he's like, did I see that that you're in London? And I said, yeah. I go, I'm actually currently right in front of the Hippodrome, which is a casino in London. He goes, he goes, no fucking way. Like he goes, I'm a block down the street with Dennis, and we're about to go to Milo's for dinner. And I go, well, fuck. When you're done, come over and meet us at the Hippodrome.
Did you meet him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
So it's funny. So he ends up going, hey, like we're out here, like, on business. and he's like, you know, I'm not sure how long we're gonna stay. So they show up like around like 8:30, 9 o'clock, maybe a little bit later, and we didn't leave until like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We just had
Shocker.
so much fun up in the lounge, having drinks,
Shocker.
a little bit of gambling. Yeah, it always so much fun. But yeah, hey, you know, I can keep this conversation going forever. But I really want to thank you for coming
Man, thanks
on.
for having me. Love the setup, man. You're killing it over here.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I told you we need to do one of these in my house, my new house.
you know what? I can definitely help you put this together. But yeah, again, thank you very much.
One last thing, yeah. I mean, for on a serious note though, before we close out, if anybody, I just started doing videos on my Instagram page, as you know, but we've recorded probably 15 more, so they're going to be coming out. So, which are just tips, you know, tips about nodes, information about nodes. So it's easy to get lost in the Google world, if you will. If you're out there just looking, there's these guys out there who think they know what they're doing, and they're going to tell you this about a node, or they're going to tell you that about a node.
Yep.
I don't care if it's me or it's somebody else, but find somebody that's literally, the old saying still holds true today. If you want to make money, find somebody that's truly making money and have that person mentor you. So find somebody in your niche, whatever that is, and have that. If you need tips on the software nodes, you'll start seeing a lot more from me personally, because I just figured I've just got to start educating more people on them and giving them little tips, 50-second videos. So I'm going to be dropping a lot more of that. It's just to help people out. You know, it's just free information for you.
No, for sure. Yeah, we even have a nice little like title thing that's popping underneath you at some point throughout this that actually says
type node.
No, Billy Womack at Billy WO.
There we go.
Billy Wo. But yeah, but again, you know, thank you again for coming on.
Yeah.
I mean, very educational. You know, we typically talk more about marketing, branding, and we got a little bit of that, but I really think that this is going to help out people to understand that, you know, just be safe, you know, when you're out there treading.
If you don't own your keys, you don't own your crypto. Say that 3 times. Say it, and memorize it. And then when you start making crypto, and one last tip, you bring in a great point right there. When you do start making money on your crypto, pull it out of the exchange, put it on a private key, right? Safe, a Trezor, anything like that, and then put it in a safe, put it somewhere safe like that, because you'd never want to leave. If you're accumulating a lot of wealth like me, split it up. Don't put all of it on one. Put it on 3 or 4 or 5. Give one to your kids, or a safe deposit box, and at safe and at home and different places. But be very careful, because you lose it.
Oh no, 100%. I mean, yeah, actually, another one of our friends, Nick Wolf.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, my good buddy. I mentor him. I'm the one that got him in it.
There you go.
Yeah,
so he invested into a cold wall company.
I know it very well. By
What's it called?
Yeah. Damn, I was just looking at it yesterday. You know the funny story.
You know, so bad is I actually forgot the name of it, and I was going to kick myself in the butt, because we're going to get up.
I
and we're
was just looking at it too. I can't think of it. But here's the funny story. You know Richard Wilkes too, my good buddy Richard, of course.
My very
Richard.
good buddy, yeah.
So I'm sitting here telling Richard, man, you got to get Richard runs Circa, and so I'm like, we're at Circa one day, and Nick Wolf's there, and Bo's there, and you may have, I don't know if you were there or not.
No, I wasn't there for that time, but I remember I was actually out of town.
And so I'm telling what's his name? Not Nick.
Richard?
Yeah, Richard. I said, Richard, listen, man, you got to get started on this. Let me teach you exactly what I'm doing. This is a year ago plus whatever it was. And Nick's like, really? I'll do it. You know, Nick, he's just like bubbly. Hey, you tell me a tip. I'm going to run with your tip. I gave him the tip, and boom, he made like $450,000 on that tip in less than 60, 70, 80 days, whatever it was. It was really quick. And Richard's like, he's all pissed, and the next time we saw him, he goes, all right, Billy, sit down with me, educate me on these software nodes. And it's funny because
that's exactly what I did with you.
Yeah, and
down, sit down with me, show me.
He pulled me into Barry's Steakhouse, at one night, and we got there at 7:30 for dinner.
Uh-huh.
We sat at Barry's Steakhouse till 12:30. We were the last people to leave. By the end of the night, me, Richard, the two there's 3 owners of Barry's, right? 2 of the 3 owners were sitting there with me. By the next morning, they're all investors with me. I'm mentoring them all, teaching them all how to do this.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: is that like when you definitely have the secret sauce,
Yep.
and it's not even the secret sauce. It's just you took the time,
kinda is.
educated yourself.
Yeah.
All right. It is a secret
And
sauce.
mastered it. Yeah.
Yep. I'm right in the middle of a tip that you gave me.
Yep.
And and a handful of other people that I know that we know. And actually, you threw it out on your Twitter. So if you want to troll Billy at Billy Womack, his Twitter, troll it. He actually throws out the tip on there.
I think I do. Yeah.
Yep. And you basically said you put the name of it and you put thank you with like the arm emojis up or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you're welcome.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And because you don't want to have everybody dogpiling something, because really dogpiling is actually the worst thing that can happen.
Yep.
You need to organically create.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, we can sit here all day and talk.
Listen, in 6 more months, though, we'll do a recap. 6 to 8 more months, we'll do a recap of this, and it's going to be.
When I'm wearing a watch like Billy's, all right, if I do this, all right, then that means this tip came through.
Yeah.
All right. If I'm still watchless, that means we're still waiting for the tip to come through.
That's right. That's not going to happen though.
Yeah.
You'll be wearing 2 of them.
So, again, I want to thank everybody. Thank Billy, and until next time, Brian Kipp, SKC Live. I'm out.
Thank you. Bam.
Bam.
I like me bitches. Woo, that was hot.
That was good.
Yeah, that was really good.